like to wrap up with some final thoughts. And Marion, I want to give you the opportunity to throw in anything else you want to add to this, discuss maybe something about Practicing Physicians of America, whatever you like. Go ahead, it's all yours.
Oh, well, thank you. So how about get up off the table and take the fork out of your abdomen or your thigh or wherever the fork is sitting, and start demanding a seat at the table, because our patients deserve that. And I think we always have to center on speaking for our patients first to make sure that they get what they need. I think Dr. Pearl is adequate at doing that, but I think Dr. Pearl, I'm excited to read the book too. I want to make sure that he's not placing too much blame solely on the physicians. I think a lot of us maybe had our heads down and weren't, we were raising our children, caring for our parents, starting practices. And then it all happened to us, but we got to take it back and we got to get together and do it. So Practicing Physicians of America, yes, it's a nonprofit. I started it with Dr. Westby Fisher of Chicago. Our other board members that round out us are Dr. Brian Jamal Dixon from Texas. He's a child psychiatrist. I'm going to say he's a badass, and he is. And so is that badass Naran El-Agba. Naran is a practicing pediatrician in Washington State. She's like she's 9 years younger than me, and she's like, everyone is like, come on guys, you're sisters, right? She writes with a blowtorch, and she's very passionate as well. And then
she's a baton twirler.
Yeah.
Yes.
And our last person is Dr. Judith Thompson. She's a breast surgeon in Texas, and she keeps our nuts and bolts moving. So that's PPA, but free to care. If you look up free, the number 2 in care, you'll find 30 groups you can join as a patient, you can join as a physician. Pick one of the groups. I'm not telling you to join PPA, but you could, so pick one of the groups. Last thing I'll do is I'll add in there, it helps when we get out there and write and express ourselves, as Marlene is doing with the magazine. It helps with these podcasts. This is wonderful. And I'm really excited because I think people see us and they see we're normal people with normal lives. Marlene's in her yard. I'm at the rest stop ready to go get my daughter at college. Y'all are in your in your studies and such. We're all real people trying to fix this stuff here. So in doing some of my writing, I was approached by a gentleman, started RIP medical debt. His name is Jerry Ashton. And Jerry realized that people were drowning in medical debt, and he raised $4 billion with RIP medical debt to erase medical debt, which was huge. But in our first conversation, he found me when I made sense about pharmacy benefit managers and kind of pursued me on LinkedIn. I'm glad he did. But I said to him, well, Jerry, if you could take out so much money from the system, you'd be erasing more people's debt because there'd be less debt. And he got that immediately. So now both Marlene and I are helping with Jerry's new project. It's called Let's Rethink This. And I would say pay attention to it because it's going to be it's an impact engine. And it's going to be not just for healthcare, but how do we rethink things about education and arts and culture and journalism and such. And I've connected journalists to Jerry, in the hope that we can start to have rational conversations. So I'm really excited. Let's Rethink This. This is launching soon. And I guess, so those are my 3 things that I'll say, because I like to try to make, other people be part of what we have going on here.
Awesome, Marion. Thanks a million for being here. Thanks for pulling off I-95 or wherever you are, and and safe travels. And we'd love to have you on again too. This was, to me, this was just like the start of some important discussion that we need to continue. And Marlene, with that, I'm going to throw that over to you. Anything you'd like to add? Talk about physicians' outlook or anything?
That I welcome and need help with other voices. So even fledgling writers, we have editors who will put it into, it doesn't need to be perfect. I think it just needs to have your thoughts, and even transcripts of podcasts. If we can get your kids, anybody, a budding journalist, budding medical student, put them to work, and it'll be good life experience for them. We're a 3-person operation at the magazine. And I need help getting more and more points of view. I don't want it to just be my point of view or what I agree with. And that's what I love about Free to Care and Let's Rethink This, and you guys at RX for Success and Inside the Doctor's Lounge, because we don't all come from, we all are in different fields, and we've respectfully listened to each other. And we know that there are solutions, but there is not one solution. We need to challenge our thinking and educate each other. And that's what I'm about, is educating and reaching across the spectrum, the very young pre-physician and the retiree who should be retired, who's in their 90s or above, but that 50 to 60, 70 that in my day was still practicing and happily practicing. We have a max, you coined it, Marion, Drexit, doctor exit, and we need to address that. There's not going to be any physicians left. And that's dangerous and very sad, because we gave a third of our lives to become physicians and the system's breaking us. So physician outlook is just that, an outlook, but not one point of view, many different points of view, as long as you're respectful.
Well stated. Well stated. And I'm going to add to that in a minute, but Rhonda, go ahead. Anything else you'd like to add today?
Well, being the nurse in the group here, I just want to represent. It's actually part of the reason why we started the company. From a nursing perspective, over 30 years, I was watching my physician colleagues continually being eroded, undermined, not being provided the resources that they needed to be the leaders that they could and should and always were intended to be. And through that course, being able to meet people, not only along with my coaches here, but Marlene and Marion and Naran and Rebecca Bernard and so many others along the way, encouraging that expression, amplifying the voice. And that's our mission. And we're going to continue to do so. And I'm just feeling very good that we've got such great company, and I see a change a-coming.
Well stated. Rick, final thoughts?
The only thing I would say is, Marlene, go back to Rhonda's, My MD Coach's website. We've been writing blogs for 60 weeks or more, and they're all directed at young physicians from our perspective. And some of them are tongue in cheek. Like I wrote one where I only use music titles to write a whole blog, but you can have access to all that stuff because
she has it.
Oh, okay. Well, some of
we're collaborating.
Okay. But anyways, I think it was a fun conversation. I'm going to go make sure that Marion's not standing up on my roof shouting, because I think she's in the right place.
Oh yeah.
And, I really enjoyed the whole conversation. I look forward to doing it again.
Yeah.
All right. And Randy, lead final word to you before we call it a day.
I just want to say I feel better. These conversations really lift my soul, and this has probably been the best one so far. The first decade of my practice in medicine was just absolutely glorious. The remaining 3 decades just got gradually more unbearable until I was gone. And finally, I recognized that clearly I'm not alone. I've got my head out the window and I'm saying, we're mad as hell and we're not going to take it anymore.
You're one of those dogs on I-95 with his head out the window.
Well, it's one thing to be mad, and yeah, we've all had our emotional outbursts and frustrations. But I think one of the other underlying themes today, and Marlene really kind of teed it up for us, is we're talking about community, whether it's where you practice in a community, whether it's amongst the medical community. We all have our roles, but we have to have that unified voice, and we can't keep being bullied. They can't keep taking our lunch money, and that's it. Enough's enough.
Yeah.
So I commend both of our guests today. I definitely want to keep this discussion going, and we are here to lend our resources to you both in what you're doing, and vice versa. This is how we start to accomplish our end goals. So
can I say
with
one
that
thing?
again,
I
go ahead,
encourage
Marlene.
you all to join the American College of Healthcare Trustees, because Dr. Levine, Dave Levine, has administrators in there who still respect the physician as team leader. And I think without them in the room, I'm somebody who really wants to make sure that we are not beating one group down. And that's what some of the groups and some of the social media stuff, it's like you come off as anti this or anti that. We need to join together. So the ACHT, Please join it. We actually, and if you're not a subscriber to Physician Outlook, there's basically you join as a trustee, and then you will, as a fellow of the American College of Healthcare Executives, and you'll get basically a free print subscription. And leave that print. My hypothesis is the print is the preferred way to learn for at least our generation, all of us in this room. There's enough screen time, and we sometimes just want to sit in our bedroom or our garden or our bathroom and just, catch up on stuff.
So Marlene, is there a website that people can go to for that?
Yes. So for the FA, I'll send it to Rhonda and we'll put it with a note.
I'll put it in the notes.
Okay, perfect. All right. Well, listen, with that, I just want to, again, thank everybody. And we hope you enjoyed the latest installment of Inside the Doctor's Lounge. Today's discussion was not surprisingly quite spirited and productive too. So that's what happens inside a doctor's lounge. You just never know where the topics are going to take us, and that's the fun of it too. So until next time, for my colleagues, Rhonda Crow, CEO and founder of MD Coaches, Dr. Rick Zollander, the host of Pickin' and Puttin', his podcast, Randy Cook, who hosts RX for Success, his awesome podcast. Please go check out the back episodes. You can hear both Marlene and Marion's interviews, and they are very,
Desmond
very rich
and
indeed.
Rick.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And Randy.
Anyway, it's always been a lot of fun. And just remember, until next time, we see you, we believe in you, and we're here for you. I'm your host, Dr. Desmond Bell. Take care until next time, inside the Doctor's Lounge.